So, yet another year has passed, bringing us ever closer to the eventual heat death of the universe. 2024 saw the decline of civilization continue unabated, with the world going bananas over Baby Hippo and Herald of the Coming Apocalypse mooding, and the re-election of Donald Grab Her by the Pussy Trump. Anything that brings us even a modicum of joy in these brutal and vacuous end times deserves to be celebrated wholeheartedly. So today, let's have a look at the top 10 Transformers of 2024 and salute them for the brief but appreciated happiness they have brought. God bless you, you inanimate plastic totems of consumerism.
Legacy Hound!
This fella would have ranked considerably higher in this list if it weren't for Hasbro fucking up this release more than Joe Biden fucked up his re-election campaign.
Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for instant instead of $400.
I remember seeing the leaked render for Studio Series 86 or Earth Mode Hound years ago and was super excited to pick him up. Then he just never came. Apparently, Hound got lost along the way in production hell. He originally was slated to be in the buzzworthy Bumblebee line, along with Bayverse Hatchet, but both were cancelled, leaving folk in the dark if we'll ever actually see them. Well, that question was answered this year, as stupid fucking Hatchet got a solo Studio Series release, and Hound was relegated to a legacy 5-pack, made up of figures I already own in arguably worse decos. Absolute shite. Oh, but if you want Earth Mode Hound, you can just get Detritus. Fucking Detritus. Fucking flesh-coloured, gold goatee, e-hobby, shitty repaint Detritus. D-shitus more like. Of course I bought him anyway. At this point, I gave up and bought Siege Hound. A bloody love hound, so there was no way I wasn't going to have him in my collection. Siege Hound just didn't do it for me though. He is a great figure, don't get me wrong, but I wanted Earth Mode Jeep Hound in his vivid animation colours, not this dull open-top Humvee Hound. I knew I had to get the 5-pack version somehow, but I just couldn't bring myself to spend $90 for a single deluxe. Thank God then for AliExpress. They were opening the 5-packs and selling the figures individually. I could finally buy Hound by himself. Although the price was steep, I had to have him. I'm not comfortable telling you what he cost, but I finally, after years of waiting, have Earth Mode Hound. So how is he? Does Hound live up to the hype generated by years of patient longing? Yeah, he's alright, I guess.
Legacy Cybertron Starscream!
So, this particular iteration of the Cowardly Decepticon Prince is quite close to my heart. After my folks very kindly disposed of all my childhood Transformers down the local tip as soon as I moved out of the family home, the only Transformers figure I had throughout my late 20s and early 30s was this teeny tiny Starscream I got for free with 2010's War for Cybertron video game. Somehow I managed not to lose this wee nugget over all those years, unlike my will to live. I initially thought this was Starscream from the War for Cybertron game, but it's not where this mould originated. This wee sausage is actually a Unicron Trilogy Cybertron Starscream repaint. Who would have thunk it? Not me for nearly 15 years apparently. So, now in this year of our Lord, 2024, there's a new toy of this fella. I knew I had to have him, and Starscream really doesn't disappoint. This is the best mainline version of the treacherous, conniving, campus Christmas prick we've ever got. Taking cues from Siege Starscream, this legacy offering is ultra articulated, looks bloody amazing in both modes, and is a fitting companion to one of my oldest little friends. I just wish this level of attention could be given to a G1 version of Starscream. Please, Hasbro, can we get rid of that shite Earthrise mould? Chuck it in a ditch along with the Siege Megatron mould preferably. Give some love to the G1 Decepticons, you fucks.
Studio Series 86 Swoop!
Another year goes by, and as predictably as explosive diarrhea after Indian street food, yet another Studio Series 86 Dinobot is in the top 10. Swoop is good. He's not quite as good as the rest of his Dinobot brethren in my opinion, but he still easily is one of the best releases of the year. Swoop is a big old simple fella like Sloth from the Goonies. Swoop came out pretty much exactly as you'd expect. Chunky, with decent articulation, a dead simple transformation, and a solid dino mode. There's no surprises here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. What is bad though, is my copy's hips. These are meant to be on ratchets, but they're looser than your Ma's knickers if she was ringside for a topless oil wrestling match between Alan Titchmarsh and Eamon Holmes. Other wee things like the fact this red stripe doesn't go all the way down and this stress mark on his sword add up to make Swoop feel slightly lackluster compared to his pals. Regardless, completing this team is fucking awesome. Just look at them. This is by far the best group of Transformers ever released, so Swoop is automatically a must-buy.
Comic Universe Straxus!
The Transformers comics were a massive part of my childhood. My lovely old granda would buy me the new issue every week, and my grubby child hands just couldn't wait to tear into the comic and find out what shenanigans our robot pals were up to. I remember Big Straxus here, mostly as a creepy severed submerged head, but even at that, he was a standout. So when Comic Edition Straxus was announced, I just had to have him. The figure does not disappoint. He's a pretty substantial remould of the excellent Kingdom Galvatron. Dare I say, Straxus actually suits this mould better than the insane purple prick. He's so hefty and just exudes that evil warlord energy. The head sculpt is absolutely spot on to the comic, capturing that weird, chinless, robotic snake vibe perfectly. The only slight issue are these massive kibble bingo wings, but they don't bother me too much. Alt mode is also surprisingly perfect. Straxus was depicted as a massive flying cannon in the comic, and that's exactly what this is. I especially love how his signature pickaxe plugs into the back and folds up to make these wee horns. Super comic accurate. More deep cut comic characters please, Hasbro. I'd love a Death's Head. Oh wait, I've already got one. Not a Transformer though, so no top 10 for you. Or just share it with Straxus. I'm not too bothered.
Studio Series 86 Springer!
If you'd told me a year ago that I'd put Springer, bloody Springer, on my top 10 list of 2024, I'd tell you you were a stupid big old poopy head liar. In the same way folk have random Transformers characters they just have a inexplicable affinity for, I have the exact opposite for this green fuck. For me, Springer is just a big old drip, a generic middle-of-the-road nobody. I bloody like Wheelie more than Springer, and Wheelie is objectively a cunt. So, it pains me greatly to say the Studio Series 86 Springer is awesome. He is without question the best mainline triple changer. Every mode is great, and transformation is simple and fun. He definitely didn't need to come with more luggage than your average contestant in Drag Race, but the upgrade from the Siege version is just amazing. It's not even like Hasbro changed that much, but those little improvements make this toy feel so much more solid and complete. It makes me sick.
Comic Universe Eminent Xaaron and Flame!
What a difference a repaint makes. I made a video previously naming Xaaron as one of my top 5 most wanted Transformers figures, and I'm ecstatic to finally have a version of the Golden Prick. I never in a million years thought he'd be a reflector repaint though. I do have to say, Hasbro have done a bang-up job with this. Xaaron looks amazing. From his shiny gold deco to his dopey head, this is just top notch. I never thought we were going to get a mainline Xaaron, so for him to come with Flame was just unthinkable. Flame is in one arc of the G1 comic, like 3 issues. To say this is a deep cut is quite an understatement. Flame's story arc is my personal favourite from the comics. It featured bloody zombie robots after all, so it's an absolute delight to have him. Gamer Megatron was a alright figure, but Flame brings this mould a whole new life. It looks absolutely stunning in this hot Rodimus-esque deco and makes the figure feel so much more special than Megatron's dull old greys did. Alt modes on both of these fellas is objectively shite though.
Origin Wheeljack.
This fella is just awesome. Origin Wheeljack is the closest we've seen to actual mass shifting in the Transformers mainline. It still absolutely amazes me that this deluxe size guy can transform into this massive solid Cybertruck that should make Elon Musk feel ashamed. You'd think there would be heavy concessions made to the robot mode, but apart from this massive backpack and titanic calves, this fella is clean and well articulated. Wheeljack is a true follow-up to Origin Bumblebee, unlike you Jazz, you brittle fuck, and will be a highlight of any collection. Lamppost Soundwave next please.
Studio Series 86 Bumblebee and Legacy Gear.
I couldn't separate these wee fellas. They are by far the best deluxe mini-bots we've got so far. Both have awesome, well-articulated robot modes, super fun and simple transformations, and their alt modes are just as cute as a button. I haven't been able to put either down since I got them. They're just perfect fidget toys and are ideal for transforming back and forth while you're sitting in your pants binge watching all of Jimbo's appearance on Drag Race. I love you, Jimbo.
Mom, are you hungry?
Missing Link Optimus Prime and Legacy G1 Universe Optimus Prime.
Before a certain fella released, I was sure, nay absolutely positive, that Missing Link would be the toy not only of this year, but of the decade. He's just that special. A childhood dream plucked from the ether of pure fantasy and rendered into physical form. He's a fully articulated G1 Prime, for God's sake. How could you beat that? Well, obviously, one fella did, but also it has to be said that Legacy G1 Optimus is right up there with Missing Link. The Legacy version is even more posable than the top dollar premium Takara one. Plus, he's pint-sized, which automatically makes him 10 times more adorable.
Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime.
So at this point, I don't think Optimus Prime needs any introduction. Everyone knows him, even your mad old senile granda who's lost control of his bowels and gets his shrivelled willy and saggy balls out for all the knackered old fellas down Ladbrokes will know who bloody Optimus Prime is. For 4 years, Earthrise Optimus has reigned supreme over all other Chug Optimi. Quite rightly as well. He's a bloody fantastic toy. He's well articulated, has a great transformation, and is largely kibble-free, apart from this butt made from tyres. What more could you possibly want, apart from a sensible bottom? Previously, I struggled to think how Earthrise Prime could be beaten. Of course there are the Masterpiece versions. Both MP44 and Magic Square's Light of Peace are absolutely stunning. They look like Prime has been ripped directly from a frame of the G1 cartoon. However, they are too big and expensive for my collection, and there's nothing like a Masterpiece transformation to make my rock-hard willy shrivel up like a wet noodle. It certainly looked like Earthrise Optimus was here to stay for years to come. Then, earlier this year, seemingly out of nowhere, came a leaked listing. Commander Class Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. The more sceptical among us instantly concluded Hasbro were up to their shite money-grabbing old tricks again. Surely this will just be a Earthrise mould with a slightly changed deco, pretty much what the recent dramatic capture set ended up doing. Then the pictures were leaked. Oh my, this wasn't a repaint. Excitement grew to a fever pitch. Every retailer instantly sold out in pre-orders, and social media was buzzing with speculation. Studio Series 86 Prime looked absolutely amazing. Everyone waited with bated breath for him to ship. I really can't remember a release just as anticipated as this, outside of me patiently waiting under Victoria Corrin's desk on Only Connect for a sweet, gassy release. Fart on my chest, Victoria, you gorgeous, filthy cow. So, he's finally here. Does Prime live up to the hype? Fuck yes he does. I can state with confidence that Earthrise Prime's reign is over. Studio Series 86 Prime is the Chug Prime you need for your collection. Just take a second to fully take this fella in. He is so chunky. Whereas Earthrise was a slender, lithe fella, Studio Series 86 is an absolute unit. His proportions are bang on to the G1 cartoon. I love these fabulous tip windows. The metallic blue behind them is truly resplendent. I do have a slight QC issue here, unfortunately. The clear plastic over the blue is slightly warped on his left tip, causing an unsightly shadow. It's no big deal really, but the look of this fella is so perfect otherwise. This wee imperfection draws my eye, like a unsightly spot on Victoria Corrin's perfect, round, fragrant arse. Prime's tit doors open, as has come to be expected from modern Optimus toys, revealing this wonderfully sculpted Matrix chamber. I would love to say it was a wonderfully sculpted and painted Matrix chamber, but there's not a spot of paint here. It's a wee bit disappointing, especially when compared to Ultra Magnus's breathtaking tit cupboard, but I can live with it, I guess. More disappointingly, however, is that Prime's Matrix is once again the same bloody old thing we've been getting for years. I'm really starting to hate this thing. It's far too small and looks pathetic in Prime's huge mitts. Look how much better Missing Link's Prime's Matrix looks. This looks like it would light our darkest hour, whilst this wee thing looks like it would struggle to light a small Scottish council flat. With next year's Age of the Primes toy line, something tells me we're going to be seeing loads more of this pishy Matrix mould. By the end of that line, I'll probably have enough matrices to construct a ring around a gas giant, like all the dead Ace Rimmers in the last good episode of Red Dwarf. This head sculpt has sparked a bit of debate online. Some folk would have preferred a squarer head for Optimus rather than this more rounded version. Personally, I think this really works. It's a happy medium between MP10's roundness and MP44's squareness, and really suits this chunky body. The squarer third-party replacement heads just don't seem right on this hench torso. It makes Optimus look too much like Powdered Toastman or this meme fella. One thing that really does bother me about the head though is lack of vertical movement. Optimus's head is on a ball joint and goes side to side fine, but there unfortunately is little to no up and down range. This is infuriating because the rest of the figure is so articulated, and this really limits the poses you can pull off. I mean, you can do the whole head in a platter thing like G1 Prime, but I really don't think that should count. This is the only area Studio Series Transformers 1 Prime comes out on top. Otherwise, he's a real piece of shit. The truly game-changing aspect of Studio Series 86 Prime are these arms. You've got a backwards butterfly joint, but also the whole shoulder assembly can unpeg from the chest and swing out, allowing for a massive range of movement. Along with this, Prime has the same kind of hands as Studio Series 86 Magnus. They can open and also feature a lovely posable pointing finger. Finally, Prime can properly hold the Matrix, use both hands on his Ion Blaster, and, rather awesomely, rock Dr. Wu Megatron as an accessory, like that one time in G1. This makes you realise just how stubby and undersized Earthrise Prime's arms are. The poor fella would be struggling to wipe his own arse. Studio Series 86 Prime does have somewhat of a backpack, but it's really not that bad. There's even some weapon storage tabs here. Prime looks remarkably clean, even with the backpack, especially after I realised these wee flaps could fold in to make Prime even cleaner in robot mode. This fella is just stunning all round. The only other issue here stemmed from Prime's feet. Notoriously, Prime's heels are on upside down. I could not give a single fuck. I'm not going to go to the bother of removing the pins, risking potential damage to the figure for an aesthetic improvement so small it would make a shrew's penis seem like a massive tumescent rolling pin-esque womb ferret that would make P. Diddy blush. Studio Series Prime comes with your standard Prime accessories of an Ion Blaster and Energon Axe. The Ion Blaster is looking the best it ever has. A nice, big, thick, long black pipe of a thing. It looks even better with these included blast effect pieces, simulating a healthy energon ejaculation. The axe is okay, just your standard fare really. The plastic is a bit squishy for my tastes. This should be harder than a bloody starburst. Transformation on Prime is fantastic. It really seems like Hasbro have perfected this process over the last few years. The transformation takes a lot of cues from the Movieverse Primes, with a familiar chest swivel, foldy outside windows and flippy up leg flaps. This truck is just everything I hoped it would be. It's easily overtaken Bumblebee Optimus as my all-time favourite Prime truck mode. The cab is so satisfyingly chunky, and for once, the truck bed is actually a truck bed, not just a pair of poorly hidden legs. This is where the upside down heels are noticeable, but honestly, it's such a non-issue. If this is the biggest thing bothering you in your life, you're a lucky snowflake of a prick, aren't you? Why don't you just shut that privileged, drooling orifice on your stupid, glaikit face and go and jump in a bloody wheelie bin, you bloody gonk? Besides, you won't even see Prime's heels when you attach this best ever Chug trailer. I've made my feelings about trailers blatantly clear. Mostly they're just stupid plastic boxes that take up too much space. And whilst that is still true here, I cannot deny how amazing this looks attached to Prime. This makes the Earthrise trailer look like undersized hot B&M knockoff garbage, especially when you open both trailers. Look at this lovely sentry drone. It's well articulated and the right colour for once. The cockpit is teeny tiny though, so good luck finding anything small enough to fit in here, apart from the corpse of a blue ball. Look who else is here. It's Roller. He's looking great. Roller is a bit chunkier and wider than his G1 self, but I really like it. He can even store 4 Titan Masters for wholesome excursions to Blair Drummond Safari Park. If you're feeling spicy, you can detach the sentry drone and plug it into the back of Roller. Lovely. So, is this the best Chug Prime ever? That's an easy yes. This is undoubtedly the new standard bearer for Primes. I really don't know how you get better than this. Of course there's a couple of nitpicks, but the base mould is just about perfect. Studio Series 86 Prime is truly head and shoulders above all other Primes. Perhaps this means my days of collecting Optimus figures are at an end. This is the definitive G1 Prime, so what's the point of picking anything else up? Look at that Devastation Gamer Edition. Ugh. Every other Prime now lives in the shadow of Studio Series 86, and all subsequent Primes will be judged against him. When you already have perfection, why bother with anything else? Oh, look at this wee tiny boy. Galaxy Toys Prime, eh? Oh, a reissue of Power of the Primes Optimus. Yes, please. Ah, shit. I'm doomed to buy Optimus toys forever, am I? Anyway, you guys have a great night. Catch you later.
Like, subscribe, and tell your da. Like, subscribe, and tell your da. Like, subscribe, and tell your da.